Okay, we have video now.
Okay, everyone, we're about to get started, and it looks like we've got first up the players are going to go ahead and look at each other's deck list. I believe we've got some Vegas locals up on stream first. One is playing Water Lightning Scions list. I actually had the opportunity to play against him in Swiss. Pretty nice guy, Andrew, I believe his name was. And his opponent, we're working on getting names for all of the players' tags right now. But they're both Vegas locals, so representing the boys across the state line on stream for top 16. Good luck to both of y'all. So yeah, we got looks like a battle of the Andrews, actually. Both gentlemen named Andrew and both from Vegas.
Two locals killing each other. What's new?
Tragic. It's actually Bart's Boko versus Scion. Interesting. Happy to see some unique decks in Top Cut, you know?
We always choose the best. At least the most interesting. We don't know what
Yeah.
the best deck is yet.
We'll find out, I think, after a few rounds, right?
Yeah.
So
Did you introduce yourself to this room?
yeah, I guess I can. Watching at home, my name is Brian Berkeley. I'm joining Viridian on the stream today for some action.
Sometimes I go by Ryan too.
Oh yeah.
Ryan here got 17th yesterday, so I chose him as my co-caster. He was very close to the top tables. He knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's it's a solid. If I couldn't be inside today playing slinging cards, it's a solid second place to be. Next to my buddy, talking to my friends at home.
We're all inside playing.
So yeah, a lot of them are.
Okay, so we just want to go over some of the cool cards that we see in the deck list while we wait. Looks like they're actually done mulliganing.
Yep.
All right, so I think we're probably playing by the rules where the top seed gets to choose to go first or second.
Correct.
And do we know who has the higher seed between Scions or Bart's Boko?
It's going to be actually the Bart's Boko player.
Okay.
He'll be choosing. So I imagine it's Bart's Boko, and there he goes. Ooh, with it looks like Sarah start. Yep.
Sarah into Bart.
So
what job is Bart's? Oh no, that's the Warrior of Lights.
I think is that Arya? I believe Arya backup.
This is
Yeah, it's Arya.
This is like some of the trivia, that I was doing yesterday. FFTCG trivia.
Yeah. It's one of those fun ones. KP randomly pop quizzes me sometimes. He goes, Berkeley, you know what this card does? And it's shocking how many old cards I can recall. Draft is one hell of a drug.
So I think, should we refer to them by last names?
I think that would help. Yeah.
All right. So Ketchum playing Bart's Boko is happy to get his Bart's immediately turn one, but it is a little awkward that he has a water backup because he can't just play Bart's tap into Boko and party attack. He's gonna have to pitch an extra card.
Yeah, there's it is a little bit of a slower start traditionally than what you would probably like as the Bart's Football player. Playing against Scions. Also, something interesting to note about Andrew's deck is he immediately grabs a Ixion because it's going to delete all the 1-drops.
Yeah, he knows.
He did the same thing to me, funny enough, yesterday. He immediately thwarted. So I'm assuming he thought Ixion was just going to be a really good meta call for this weekend, because he seems to be fond of the card, seeing how he plays it in Swiss.
Right. And when you're playing Water Lightning, you actually can, pay the extra cost a lot of times to kill all 3 drops. So it's not just for the 2 drops, like for the Twins decks. It can be used for other decks as well.
Yeah, very good against decks like Samurais, Avalanche.
So is there any card that can play around Ixion in the Bart's Boko deck? Let me see. See 3 Yashtolas.
Oh, we got a Typhon. The new Typhon. That's a very interesting call for the weekend.
We also have a Zezat, but I don't think there's a way that Ketchum can actually play the Zezat out without using the Bart's effect.
Correct.
That would help kind of protect you, but I don't think that's an option. Traditionally, they slot a lot of cards to prevent burn damage, so you can see like White Mage being run. Zezat pumps your guys to be bigger, so you can get around burn. And then that's kind of the main strategy of the deck, just run out your guys for free, draw cards.
Yeah. What Ash Ketchum might be doing actually here is I would guess he's understanding that he's going to have to accept that at some point he's going to get Ixion. So I actually do like running out this Izana because Izana can just poke and just get some cheeky damage in until he's ready to have a turn where he wants to apply a little bit more pressure, forcing the Ixion. And because he's developed a little bit of a backup line, it's not going to be the traditional all-in Bart's Boko line deck where once you just get blown out once, you don't really have a ton of recovery. Playing a little bit more economic, understanding that it's going to be a harder game, right?
Right.
With removal.
Famfrit.
And my favorite chip immediately decides that he's going to sack.
Yeah, it's also interesting that because Pringles played Thord in turn 1, that's not a very economic play. I mean, you're paying 3 and only getting 1 card back. So when you set up 2 backups kind of on curve, you're kind of in a better position.
Yep.
I was slightly offset because Pringles played the 2 CP, I think Urianger, that got him a card back. So I think they're pretty close. And I think in the long game, the Silence deck was definitely favored.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw he also played a Princess Sarah, so on curve still a little bit. Calling, I'm assuming lightning. The interesting thing also about his deck is it's very heavy cat 14. So a lot of the cards have a lot of synergy in the same ways that Bart's Boko does with the 4-drop and 1-drop synergies, just different types of synergies. The thing is though, is that I feel like Andrew Pringle's deck offers more removal than the Bart's Boko deck does. So 2 aggro decks potentially duking it out, the deck with more removal tends to be favored.
Right. And Pringles deck also does have extra, I would say, value when they're trading forwards because there's the Oracle of Light, fan crit swing kills a person and brings back a character on entry.
Yeah, one of the things he likes doing is he actually really enjoys sacking his Oracle of Light to bring back his Thancred, to bring back Hein, to go for lethal.
And looks like we're about to do something really cool. Okay, we're bringing Y'shtola out. Now this negs for 4K per Scion forward, which did -8 to Bart's. And because Y'shtola can dole a cat 14 forward to give another one haste, she hasted, I believe, Thancred, and they got a point of damage.
Yeah. Now it's gonna be tough, right? Because Thancred, every time it attacks, can kill. He's got 4 lightning characters out, I believe. So every time it attacks, it can kill a 4-drop card.
Right.
And we just slammed a Yuna Y'shtola.
We're kind of in a very bad spot right now. That's one.
Yeah, I think right now it's tough. He's trying to find ways to crawl back into the game, but I mean, Thancred can blow one of these guys up when he swings, right? And the nice thing though is that if he has haste in hand, he can use Tola to protect the Yuna and still party attack and maybe kill something on the crackback.
That's a red mage. You can pay 2 to break the forward of cost 4 or less, and it has cat 14 synergy as well.
Yep.
I played that deck and it was lightning. I played that card. I didn't get as much value as Pringles.
Yeah.
I don't have the cat 14 synergy.
It looks like so after losing those 2 forwards, he decided to play back up, dug a little bit to wall trill. So he's trying to find answers. But he's gonna get pushed, I think, to 5 or 6 points here.
Right. So at this point, I think if I were Ketchum, I'm kind of accepting the fact that I'm probably doomed, and I'm trying to think what can I do better next game? What should I try?
Yeah. you've fallen pretty far behind in this game. I think you take this game as a learning lesson, and now you kind of pick up the cards and go, okay, game two, what do I do that in game two that I wasn't able to do in game one, right?
Right.
So
I
it's interesting.
think if I were Ketchum, I would accept the fact that I'm gonna lose to Ixion, but I'm still gonna go by my main plan. Do parts Boko, force him to have it.
Yep. I agree with that because here's the thing, right? Even if he Ixions your Boko at the start when you play a Bart's Boko, he's only Ixioning for one forward, so the exchange really isn't that bad unless he lets you go wide first. And
Right.
at that point, you've already kind of done what you want to do as the Bart's Boko deck.
Yeah.
And you've probably got some card value out of the stuff you've already played. So I don't think it's that bad.
I think the longer it goes, the worse it gets for the Bart specials. So we want to
Yep.
like go in, stick to the main game plan. It sucks that sometimes we might lose to Ixion, but we're still good at what we do.
Yep. Something that's also interesting is if he does a very quick and early Bart's Boko and he pulls out, you mentioned Zazat earlier, right?
Zazat.
Andrew will have a lot of cards in hand, so Zazat's going to get to peep at that. If he responds with an Ixion, it's not the best thing in the world, but at that point, Andrews is getting to kill two forwards, but he also got rid of probably the worst card in the matchup, right?
We also
So-
thin our deck because if he draws Zazat, it's a useless card. Like we can't play it. We
Very
can't
true.
really pitch it for anything of value, except if we have a backup down already. So
Yeah. Or if we have like a 4 CP card, we have to discard it. It's just not a great card we want to really draw. It's like when you're playing the Magisa deck and you see you're off and out of Forza. It's not a good feeling.
and then JK Duff asked what removal does he have in his list. I'm assuming you're asking about Wind Water. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we can see Opus 8 Alexander, I think, which is the break a character of cost 4 or more.
Yep. He's got a Party Attack Noctis, Light Noctis.
And the Typhon.
Mhm.
The classic tuck under 4.
Yep.
So here we have Silgra. This gets us both Barts and Boko, right?
Yeah. He's also got the classic Ultros in his list too.
The one of.
Yep.
Is it one of? Oh, it's a 3 of.
3.
It has a full art, so obviously, you know.
Well, he's got water cards in the deck. I'm sure at some point he may have in a pinch want a YOLO and reveal the top, throw it back in the deck, shuffle it up, reveal top 5. One of the boys down in the Miami locals likes doing that on the regular.
It's like we got the unit here.
So he may already have the Barts in hand.
Right. Maybe he just wants the water CP here. Or I wonder what his okay, yep. He's doing it.
Yeah, so he did already have the Barts. Okay.
So we're asking him, do you have it? And he doesn't.
There you go. And then boom, and then let's see what he grabs. I mean, I think it's a solid call here, right? Turn 1's a Dane.
Yeah, that's
Strong line.
So what card do you pick here? And we can see Stanford,
see 2 Lewis Wall, right?
2 Lewis Wass, Alice and a Sarah, I believe. So we can't take a backup.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess we take the water CP one.
yeah.
So that was a very strong turn. We get to also draw a card here.
Gets to draw, gets to put him on 2 points already. Hitting the Emperor and damage. Now, Andrew made that call, I think, for the weekend. He was expecting to see a lot more twins. Hoping that would be really advantageous in the matchup. I don't think this is going to be a matchup where it's going to be too strong of a card. So I think he's okay to see that hit damage.
Yeah, there's no really action abilities at all.
Except for the Ultros, right?
Except for the Ultros.
Strong card. Strong full art.
Strong full arts. The real flex is having 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oracle of Light and Emperor, true. We're also, for what it's worth, we are playing 2 Oracle of Light. So we're playing 3 light and dark cards in the deck.
Yeah, so that was something I noticed yesterday when he played
oh, and Princess Sarah, so 4 light.
Oh wow.
So one thing to talk about is Pringles has 3 Thordins in his deck. That's basically, and 2 Ixions. So he has 5 Ixions in his deck. Right?
5 ways to fetch the card, yeah.
And 3 on burst. Okay.
Oh, so now he tossed out that Oracle of Light, knowing that he's got the.
Oh, it's getting multiple.
So yeah. And Andrew knows these guys are locals. I'm sure this is the first time they've played against each other.
I'm a little curious why he chose to play out the the Oracle of Light, knowing that it's probably gonna get Oracle.
He might not have had a better card to cast in his hand, and he had maybe too many cards in hand at the end of turn. Had to
He
pull
also
something out.
had Princess Sarah in this game, so he had 2 light cards.
Mm,
Or this basic, or it could say that Pringles has a better forward that he really doesn't want to lose.
he could also be pushing the Ixion. Maybe he drew the Ixion, and he's trying to force out some of the better cards from Andrew
Maybe.
Ketchum.
See. Okay,
Maybe not.
that's not a that is a burst.
That's a Ariandru, so he's going to get to add a 15 or 14 card, and a lot of his deck is at 14.
Oh, looks like we forgot to attack here. Forgot that Ultra says haste, right? Because it's a 1-drop.
Very true. Yeah.
That might come back to hurt us later.
To haunt
We'll
us, yeah.
see.
Either that, you could also make the argument, right, that he wasn't willing to risk hitting a Fanford or anything like that. He's already got lethal on board, knows he can grab another 4 next turn if he doesn't grab the Ixion from the deck. So, and there's a Y'shtola.
Oh, now we're definitely Ixion no longer saves us if we EX it with holding because we can cancel it.
Oh, he had the Ixion in hand. He sacks that Y'shtola.
So sometimes you can't be greedy when you play Final Fantasy, right? There's no priority after your opponent draws a card.
Correct.
So if your opponent is careful and plays their things in the proper order, if they play Y'shtola first, you have no window to respond. Your Ixion is dead.
Yeah, it's not like other card games where there's a window of priority once that card's
Upkeep or draw.
So that was actually really interesting. Very different from the game 1 where so it looks like Mr. Andrew Ketchum did learn, like we said in game 1, right? What did he do? Yeah, just make them have it, and he was rewarded, right? So very, very, very good. Very interesting, polarizing game 1 and 2. So now if you're on the opposite end as Andrew Pringles, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm all for a Thoradin, to be honest, or an Ixion,
But I mean, it's being that there's effectively, like we said, 5 copies, effectively ways to see Ixion in our opening hand. The likelihood of seeing that card is really high, right?
Right. And I don't know the math. We have friends who know the exact math, but
yeah. So if it's a 3 of in your deck and you're hard mulliganing for it, I think it's about a 50% chance of you opening in your opening hand. So now going from a 3 up to a 5, what the math actually looks like, I'm not sure. KP probably hasn't gotten here yet, but we'll ask him when he shows up, maybe.
Okay, so I think these are fast keeps from both players. It's like we're casting Merweb to grab Thancred.
Okay.
The Boko games are settled by how well turn 1 goes. Usually, I would not disagree.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing also is being on Andrew's Pringles side of the table, right? He's got now a little bit more time before the Bart's Boko deck is going to pop off, perhaps.
It looks like we're going in.
We see some.
We have to be careful what we pitch here.
Yeah.
Okay. Pitch the Waltro. You still
okay. Ooh, and a Noctis.
Oh, we're going in.
Show me the.
This is a big bet. If we have Ixion here, we might have died.
Yeah, I would be very scared. I mean, he let him go to combat. It's interesting that he didn't have the Ixion and he kept that hand very quickly.
Okay, so what we chose to do with Noctis here is we chose to draw first. Oh.
Oh, so he waited on the Ixion. He wanted him to play the forward first. He got the Zazat out of the deck, and then he cast Ixion. So now his hand size is lowered, so Zazat doesn't get to look at the hand anymore.
Now, I think, are we okay with that if we were Pringles, or sorry, Ketchum? We did get the Noctis draw.
I think so. I mean, he at least got 1 card back, but I think also if you're on the opposite end of the table, I think you're okay with that because there's only 1 or 2. I think it's 2 Zazat in the deck, so you're now made your way past one of them.
And we missed with our Urion J. Did we overpay for that?
Yeah, I'm assuming he just discarded a card.
He has to discard 2, right?
Urion is a 2-drop.
Great, but it's water lightning.
No, the starter deck one's just a lightning.
Oh, it's just the lightning.
Yeah, it's
okay,
2-drop lightning. Yeah. You're thinking of the monster 3-drop.
Urianger cards go to bottom, not bin. Do you want to call that out? We don't have our normal runner today because she's not here. Thank you for the catch, NATO. If you're wrong, shame on you because I didn't actually even look at the card, you know. So we'll see what happens. Have I ever been wrong? I don't know, man. I'll tell you, NATO is the spoiler master. He literally reads every card so carefully when no one else knows. Did they catch it?
Yeah.
Everyone?
And we've got KP on the case as well. KP was in there, hot and ready to call him on it, just the same
Okay,
as
we have a
were,
judge.
so
Okay, and we were skilled and we drew our
we drew Boko again.
we drew Bogo again.
Let's see if his opponent is equally as skilled as top decking another Ixion.
No, okay, so you actually missed this, I think.
Okay.
I think he has Ramu. Or he had Ramu. I think he killed the Boko. I think this is the third Boko.
Oh my goodness. Better to be lucky than good sometimes, right?
It's better to be both.
Oh yeah, I'd take both any day
I'll
of the
take
week.
both.
If you know, if I had both, I maybe would have been 17th.
Okay, so I assume we didn't take Zezat because Pringles only had like 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, so Sazat's just going to be a beefy forward. I think at that point it's better to get something that's going to net some safety for your board or card value back, which I don't know if there's a 1-drop that necessarily does that unless you go for materia, but how many Noctis is he playing?
1 went to damage actually, so I think
so
that's a
he's-
dead card now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you get the Luna Freya.
Luna Freya can't attack because you need a cat 15 forward. So it looks like what we're doing here is Pringles. We're just playing forwards. So the black chocobo lets us
Party attack.
Can we still attack? How does this card work again?
So party attack cannot be blocked.
Party attack. Okay. So we have Boko plus black chocobo party attack. So let's draw us a card, right? So
Yep.
Okay, we played Keys for free. And JK Duff was paying more attention than us, but he has informed us that Dark Emperor is the last card in Pringle's hand.
Oh, okay.
So we had to pitch our Thornton because we just couldn't cast it with the Dark card.
Bummer.
So I don't think we're unhappy here for Pringles. We still have 3 forwards. Yashola special is going to be insane.
Oh, we just slammed down an Oracle of Light.
Okay.
So now with the Oracle Light on board, that's a real threat.
I think we're racing here. Like Yashola, I think, hit the damage zone. So we have to be careful here how we start attacking, right? If we leave too many, if we don't have enough blockers, we could get punished.
Yeah.
By Typhon, or
an Ultros, like if he's able to get a Bart's out again.
Yeah. So basically, by leaving up 2 active blockers, Pringles is preventing 2 damage, or sorry, 1 damage.
But he's going in for that.
He's going in.
Yeah.
So if there's some way to remove Oracle of Light here, he could be taking another 2.
See, but the thing is, though, is that he's basically telling his opponent, you have to win this turn.
Right.
Because he's put so much pressure on that if he doesn't have a way to win this turn, he's gonna win on the following turn. So Ash has a very, very limited window of time in order to close this game out.
You know that meme where it's just like, call the ambulance, but not for me, dude? It's like the ambulance plan. Our feathers pluck. So we're at damage 4 right now. So like we need a haste or 2.
Yeah. I mean,
oh, this is really good. So this,
sorry.
I think we soldier for Bart's here.
Okay.
If we have a win card in our hand, we can do a party attack with Bart's Boko, pull out the Ultros, tuck away the Oracle of Light here, then attack. Now, we have to remember that game 1, Ketchum, or maybe it was game 2, did not attack with the Ultros. Even though he could have. So we have to see if he remembers, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, right now it looks like he's. Oh, there he is. He still has one in hand. So yeah, going in here, and it's the unblockable party attack.
That
There's your ultras,
goes.
and now going for the damage.
Okay,
No
so
EX burst.
I don't think any X saves us here. If
Yeah.
Emperor's in our hand.
And he's got like a. I think he
Okay,
has
and
fan frame.
remember.
Yeah.
Kukulane. Oh,
Oh.
very important attack choice here.
That would have saved him. That actually would have saved
That would
him.
have that potentially
Wow.
could have saved him.
If he swung in a different order.
Also, so he would have had to choose a Bartz to prevent haste, but since
Yeah.
Oko was obviously on the board last turn already, it didn't matter.
Exactly.
So that was very well played by Ketchum, you know?
Yep, very, very well played. Knowing that the Cooch lane wasn't out for Andrew Pringles. Well, congratulations, Bart Smoko, top 8.
Top 8.
That was fast.
No, I
Playing.
bet you no one expected that.
Yeah,
Willing to bet.
I honestly didn't even expect to see it here this weekend. But you know what? It's one of those decks that randomly comes out of the woodworks, and it just catches people off guard. They have no idea what's happening. So you go back up turn 1, and then the next thing you know, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, very well played by both players, honestly. It was, no one made any egregious, misplays. It was pretty tight.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, I think it all goes back to what you made a really good point. Game 1, right? Andrew Ketchum learned that he cannot take it slow, knowing that his opponent has the Ixion. He has the ways to search Ixion in the deck, and that's such a bad card for his matchup or for his deck. He had to make the right decision to just say, hey, you got to have it or I'm going to win. Right. And although he had it in the last game, it just wasn't enough. He continued to apply pressure. He continued to go, and he got there. So I think well done by Andrew Ketchum. I keep wanting to say Ash Ketchum. Well done, Andrew, and taking it, learning, right? That's what I like about the best of 3 is that you can take the knowledge that you gain. Even if you take that L in game 1, it's not over because you have the opportunity to apply what you learned.
And adaptability is like very underrated in this game, I think, because we mostly do best of 1s and twists.
Yes.
Learning on the fly is a very important skill, especially as you get to like the top tables when it's best of 3. You can change how you play. If you're like, hey, I just got destroyed.
Yeah. And I love my boy Chris on stream, but I'm gonna have to inform our tech team that they did goof his name.
So it was his birthday yesterday, actually. So happy birthday to him if he ever watches this replay.
Yep.
This is not a stagger. I think what just fortuitously happened was they just grabbed someone who just finished game 1. Like, hey, do you want to come on stream?
Yep. And of course we had to grab America's sweetheart, right? Matthew Okimoto. And it's something else that I just can't help but point out. Has anybody any of our friends managed to play on stream yet? Oh, okay.
A lot of our friends.
Matt did yesterday, right? So this isn't the first time we're seeing these sleeves on stream.
We have unfortunately seen these sleeves a lot.
A lot? This is great. I love it so much. One of the best investments I think I've ever made.
Yeah. So Chris Plums is playing Kingsclaves.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he's playing the Earth Lightning version or just the Mono Lightning version. And Matthew Okimoto is playing Mono Wind. And we have no idea who won game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I could run in and find out real quick. Just curious. I could ask White Mage. It would take more than a second. Good to have that information.
We know Oki gets to go first because he won. So because Plums just went first now, we can assume that Oki won game 1.
It's a pretty safe assumption, yeah. Yeah.
So it's probably 1-0 in favor of Oki.
Yeah. And I know Chris actually, he did play this matchup. He tested a lot last night with Kelly. He wanted to learn how he does it. And this is actually what he said. He has to open with Tread. Actually, I think that's a Nyx, right?
That's a Nyx. It's not as good as Regis.
It's not as good as Regis, yeah. So he said the way he really wins this matchup is honestly just going turn 1 Regis Tread, and that really makes a huge difference. Just the value of that line, playing the free forward and applying that pressure is how he gets there.
And then Nyx goes to 2.
Yeah.
So yesterday when Oki and I were talking about this matchup, and he's like, I've never played this matchup. And we were busy with other things. And I don't think anyone had Kingslaves on them. We didn't really test. We were talking about it, but we didn't physically test them. I'm like, Oki, I think instead of counting to 7, you just want to count to 8. You know, we want to count Luso twice.
Thank you.
So now we got the deck list.
Yep. So, looking at this match, right? Plums, if you're in his shoes, what do you think gets you there?
I play forwards as fast as possible, and I make him have Luso turn 2 or turn 3. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go as fast as possible.
And you hit the Chocomogan damage,
1K.
but not quite enough.
That's right.
You know, I was talking to him also. I think Axis is a really good card once you get the Nixus out, like being able to basically play a third forward or a fourth forward at that point, right from your deck. Again, continuing to apply that pressure, telling Oki, hey, you're on one backup. You have to pop off now, or you're just gonna be dead.
So I think we had no other option except to play our backup.
Oh yeah,
We couldn't play the Axis, which, like you said, would have been really good here. That's one of the benefits of playing Regis instead of Nyx, you know, because on curve next turn you could top deck a really good play. Mr. Cool was playing in top 16 today. We don't know how he's doing.
yeah,
He's playing Emmanuel on Sorace.
Yep,
I think that's favored for mono win. So
you know, it's interesting. We do think it is favored for mono win, but Emmanuel actually beat Alex and Swiss yesterday.
right.
So let's see if Alex gets to make the comeback and, you know, redeem himself a little bit, or if Emmanuel's going to take one for Team Arizona.
Yeah. Team Arizona's kind of loose because they don't really have a scene anymore.
No, they just said they got 6 new players over the
Oh,
weekend. So this is the scene's coming back. I'm proud of my boys. But
Did he recruit from Fob?
I have no clue. But Oki showing here, basically he's going
to 4 backup, so he
Yeah.
played Althea, untap, played Fat Chocobo. Ends with 1 card in hand. So
I think there's a few nice reasons for this, right? One of them being that now again, if he hits kind of like he did in the first damage, if he hits a Chocomog, going to at least 3 backups is important because Tread is a 3K, so Chocomog will actually do something now.
right.
The other thing also is Althea sets him up for a Storm turn. Because he needs to be able to kill Plum's board, and a Typhon isn't going to be the way he does it because Nyx obviously has the protection.
Right.
So he has to basically be able to Luso the board, and Althea is going to be that card that gets him there.
So I'd say if I were Oki, I'd be like, I have 2 turns to win, to not lose.
Yeah.
Not necessarily win. And it looks like we hit both of our Suras, which is a huge storm card. We hit a Chocobo, which is also a storm card. So
And he discarded Chocobo.
yeah, and there's a chance that, you know, Plums has enough Kingsglaive in his graveyard right now to bring out another forward at the end of turn.
Yep. So knowing Plums is a local, what he typically does do is he does stack his Kingsglaive in one pile. So I think that pile towards the top is going to be his Kingsglaive count. I'm not sure how many cards it is. It looks like 4. So he's pretty close. He could sack the Tread and get there.
Right. I am not a player that could play Kingsglaive. It's always so nervous to watching these games because at the end of the game, you know, the Kingsglaive player has 1 forward left and they're like, I won. And I'm like, It's so nerve-wracking, you know? Okay, Oki is digging here. He's trying to find a play. So that's 1.
We got Storm count 1, boys.
Could lose. That's the payoff card we needed. Luso is very good here.
I think if Oki doesn't grab the Luso, it's kind of a tell though to Chris that he probably already has one.
Yeah.
This will be a difficult turn though, right? Because you said that already. He doesn't have access to a syrup. He doesn't have an Atomos on the board. Casting the Chocobo first tells us he doesn't have the Atomos in hand. He also probably doesn't have a Rosa because he might have started his turn with the Rosa, I'd imagine, right? Rosa into the Chocobo.
Is this the guy that can break it forward? The backup? Is that Luce?
I could tell you in a sec. They all look so similar to me, and I have such a hard time. Every time they play one, I have to ask Chris, which one is that one?
That could be a reason not to play the Rosa.
That's all. That's true.
Because we know Ixion is dead in our hand right now.
The Rosa just has pay 1 right to save it. I don't think Chris would pay that much CP knowing that he could just protect it with 1 CP.
It also puts a Kingsglaive in the bin.
That's
so
also
get a guy. So Typhon might be good enough just to stay alive.
Yeah. It also if Chris is only at a few Kingsglaive in the break zone, it does force him to remove the Kingsglaive to save the Nyx. And it really makes it so that he can't actually get to that point of Nyx sacking 5, right?
Right.
So and there's a lot of value in that.
Oh, we are casting Luce here. So we're trying to kill the Typhon. Now, Oki has Althea up. So this could be a very risky play. We'll see what happens here. What does Oki choose to do? What are his last two cards? So it looks like we're breaking this to kill Typhon. Is this the one that lets our opponent draw a card?
Well, what I was looking for is I wanted to see if he played any ways to protect the Nyx here by pulling a card from the deck. But I don't see anything in the deck. Like I know we had like some locals trying out Luna Freya and other cards to play from the deck. But let's see.
So Oki in response. What are you doing?
So I think that was Sonatus. It's the one that deals a point of damage to yourself.
Okay. I don't think it was. I don't know what's going on right now.
Well, what I'm assuming is he did that. It gets put into the break zone, and then when it gets put into the break zone, he's going to Nyx beforehand. Either that or he hasn't. Either that or they goofed and he hasn't taken the damage. We'll find out in a second here.
Picked up a backup, so Typhon's not a forward. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he used Althea to pick up Fat Chocobo.
So it's okay. Sorry.
So now he can replay the backup, turn Typhon into
A forward.
forward again.
Thanks, NATO.
Thanks, Nato. While we're struggling to read cards here.
Yeah, we're looking up cards we were totally missing.
We don't know like some of these. Man, these cards have hidden text, bro. You know, they're job Kingsglaive, and everything else is like, yeah, I don't know.
They got the right job. It's good enough.
That's gonna be engineers next set, you know? Engineer in the deck. Oh, I don't know what this guy does. Okay. So now we don't take a damage because
The effect does not resolve, correct?
right, because Typhon is no longer forward.
Yep.
This, you know, if somehow Plummer got an EX Kusith here, that'd be really good for him. He has no chance to now.
Yeah, so now I think he got the access from his deck, milled 3. He was looking to hit a Kingsglaive now to save the Nyx. I don't think he quite got there.
He targeted Tread.
Oh, and then he sacked the Tread to.
I think the Tread got Typhon.
No, he sacked the Tread right now.
Okay.
Yeah, to pump the
Sure.
Nyx.
So we didn't
Better
want
to have the Tread in the bin
yeah,
and then
correct,
deck.
correct. Okay, so can Plummer win here?
He's got to get out a haste forward. So what forward in the deck has haste? It's just Nyx, right? But you've already got that Nyx on the board. So I don't know that he can actually win this turn, but he can definitely put Oki in a rough spot.
Man, this all kind of comes down to like we wish we had Regis.
Yeah.
I think we just have to pay 2 to play this forward.
Yeah.
All right. Can we attack? So Tread pumps, right, on an ETB?
Yes, and gives Brave.
Okay. And it looks like we are playing the old RNA. We're not playing the starter deck RNA. So we're playing the Legend from Opus 11. So we don't have the new one. Costs 6 and has haste and kills 4 to cost 3 or less.
That would be very good here. I think
Maybe just 4.
yeah, it's yeah. And then at damage 5, it breaks to 5 costs or less. I think that here, the reason he chose this Aranea, it's a one of, and reviving some of the smaller forwards in his deck.
We also can't cheat in the 6 CP because Nyx only can remove 5, right? 5 Kingsglaive. Yeah, Nyx removes 5 Kingsglaive, and then you can play a cost 5.
Yeah, it's 5 or
Of
less.
Castle
So you can cheat in an Aranea, but you can't cheat in
You can't cheat in the new
one. Yeah. The new one has some very pretty 2 letters in the upper right-hand corner of the card, but it's maybe not quite what we want as far as synergies for the deck.
We do actually play one Ravis.
It's the
Opus 9.
Yeah.
Dang, chat knows better than us. Better than me, at least. Can't speak for Brian. All right, but it looks like we removed 5 more Kingsglaives, and we played Ignis, which let us search for a prompt. Sorry, we played prompt. Oh my god, we played the guy that gets us a Noctis.
Yeah, the Ignis, yeah.
Ignis, okay.
Yeah.
And we have 5 CP Cloud. Okay.
Noctis, Dole. So then we're gonna Dole the Typhon here and then apply some pressure.
This guy also gives 2k Brave to all of your cat 15 fours, correct? Ignis?
Ignis gives plus 1k Brave.
1k Brave.
Yep.
Okay. So this threatens a trade with the Typhon and doles the Luso. 1 point of damage.
And so now Matt's clarifying what forwards were played this turn, so what can attack and what cannot.
Right.
I think the tread was played this turn, so I think the Nyx is actually pretty big. I think it's like a 9k or 10k Brave.
Okay.
Axis threatening the trade with the Typhon.
That's fine. I think we want to. So he has two options, right? Get a forward back or let it die. But I think we removed all of our forwards.
Yeah, I think in this situation, you probably accept the trade.
Yep.
Seeing because he's got the
Let's
Althea.
go. Yep. And now we have to pass. Okay, this is Oki's last turn to not
Yep.
lose.
Well, he's got the Althea. He's got the Luso.
Yeah.
He's gonna go to 4 cards in hand. I've seen Win pop off with 2 or 3 and 3 backups. It's very easy. Very capable. Match just got to go back to kindergarten and remember how to count 7.
Right. I have to. Yeah, this is gonna be tough though because we lost both the Suras and we lost the Lulu to damage.
Yeah.
So we're working with like not very much here.
Yep. With no Tomos, no Rosa that we've seen so
Is that a
far.
Lulu in his hand? Okay, I think he has a Lulu in his hand.
Lulu is one. I honestly think Lulu is probably one of the best cards to help with popping off for Storm. He's got Chocobo, I think, already in the bin.
Right.
2 CB Chocobo.
Okay, so he's
Going deeper.
calculating. He's like, okay, I'm gonna play Lulu. I'm gonna get Chocobo.
Yep.
Gonna bounce this Luso. Pray. And it's gonna be tough. I think we've only seen 4 backups total, right? So there's still 9 in the deck.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is his turn to win it.
So I think Kronos asked a pretty interesting question, asking if he could have sacked the tread to save the Axis. I think that's really interesting. I'm assuming one of the reasons why you don't sack the tread instead of letting the Axis trade. Either way, you're losing one of your Kingsglaive forwards. But if Oki does have the Luso turn, tread will save your forward. So
How much does that pump by, Ian?
I believe 3k. I could be.
Okay, so the forward we really need to save is Ignis because it pumps the rest of our board by 2k.
Yeah.
So Ignis cannot die.
Well, Ignis pumps our board by 1k.
Sorry, 1k.
Yeah, but if
And Nyx has RFG, can RFG the access to give another +1. Noctis doles on entry and death.
Oh, maybe he's saying he could have done it in a reverse order.
No, because I think what happened was he played Noctis last. Because he pulled it off of Ignis. So
Okay.
he did not play any other forward after Noctis. So there was no procedural mistake. Or anything like that.
Noctis was the last forward played. Yeah.
Okay, did we just discard a Typhon or was that the Typhon that died?
I think he's starting his turn now. So
Okay, well he's starting with Lulu. pretty sure.
yeah.
Generally, you want to see. Oh no, it was Rosa. Okay, that's good.
That helps, right? Because that's going to get us a free 3 CP at some point.
Oh, we have to pick up. That's rough.
And then we're going to replay the Althea, untap.
2.
Replay the Luso, untap 3. Draw, and now we have the Lulu to be able to grab back the Chocobo.
I don't think we. No, I think we're actually just hoping that we hit something insane off 5 here with Rosa.
Maybe.
Because we can't. Can we cast anything? Like, we can't cast anything after we cast Chocobo. And so there's a chance, too, that we flip a Rosa or a Luso before this Chocobo resolves.
Yeah, it's very true.
So we're kind of desperate.
If Matt hits a Bismarck here, though.
Yeah, the thing, Kronos, is we don't necessarily want to sacrifice the 1-drop because we can use it to pump our board.
Yeah.
Later.
I think holding the 1-drop for the potential for a Luso turn is your only saving grace if Matt does have the sweep, right? Because at this point in the game, Plums, if he gets swept, he's just dead. But holding out your Nyx and keeping your Nyx on the board is probably what's going to keep you in the game.
Right. There's also some like consideration that like we can replay Tread next turn because we have no cards in hand.
Yeah,
We can't play Axis, you know, we could pop our Tread. I mean, we can attack, we can do some stuff, you know.
correct. So Matt casting Choco. I think he's debating on what he's going to target here, and then he's going to trigger the Rose Up.
I know, okay, he's probably laughing. He's probably like, I'm dead if this doesn't hit anything good, you know? And he's just laughing.
All right, what are we calling off the top for Oki's deck? Oh, Choco Sam?
Well, we have to think about what the most busted card is because Oki has
Yeah.
good luck. So it's obviously Typhon.
Yeah, Typhon would be a really good hit here.
This top card is busted 100%.
Top card, I think a
Or-
Bismarck also actually would be pretty good.
That is
Ooh.
garbage.
Yep. That does not do it
Garbage.
for us.
Reveal cursed mechanic, bro. Reveal 1. Can't even
Yeah.
clear that bar, you know?
He can cast it though. Draw 2. Hey, if he draws a Luso here, oh,
That's
and it's not
we
that.
ain't scooping it up.
No. All right, so we're going to game 3, I
well
guess.
done, Plummer. Not always hitting your Rosa. Bad player alert.
Yeah.
You know what the most cursed role is actually in all tournaments is the person who goes EXO in space.
Oh no! Oh no!
How many times have we seen the last seed win a tournament? Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot, you know.
It is also interesting. I mean, like, going into this event, a lot of players were saying, in previous events, since the set dropped, that Mono Wind was one of the best decks in the format and one of the best decks to beat. Kingslaves has always been this deck that's kind of feels like it's on the cusp of getting there. And so it's kind of cool to see something like Kingslave succeed in the tournament, right?
Right. And I think we actually have 2 Kingslave players in top 16. I think
Oh, wow.
Serena also made it.
That is true. Yeah. She has been playing that a lot locally. I know she had a lot of decks she was debating on, and I think she finally was sold on the Kingslave.
And I haven't personally played Serena, but I have seen her at some of the old the other Crystal Cups, or sorry, ReRaises, and she was also playing Kingslave there. So she had a familiarity with the deck, you know.
Yeah, and she's no slouch, right? She was like, I think, 1 win away from going to Worlds. So she's a pretty solid player.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
And
Oh,
the one card cut.
They put it back on.
They're locals. They love each other.
Yeah. Everyone, I think most people who are aware of the Southern California scene, if you know one thing about Southern California, it's mono trolls.
Mono trolls. led by Oki, the
Yeah.
king troll himself.
Pay the toll, brother.
Okay. Oki mulligan. He always says he always draws the first 5 are bad, so he has one more chance.
Yep.
See.
We'll see. He's going first. Let's see what his turn 1 is.
That's pretty good. That's good.
Step 1. Discarding some dead card. So
Okay, what do we get here? Althea or Stiltskin?
I think you get the Althea. Like, you just have to. Oh, he grabbed a Stiltskin.
Dang.
What? So maybe he knows that he needs to see the Luso, and he wants to search it. What do you think?
I think the +2 CP could be
relevant.
I think the only 1 drop he has is Luso. All right.
Yeah. The only target for Stiltskin in the deck is the Luso.
Right.
So it's weird. Like, I think I also would like the Althea because one thing I realized is if I am playing off of 2 backups, storming is very, very difficult. Althea having an extra basically bounce on board is an enabler. So the same start from Plums' last game.
Well, he's playing Axis here, right? Did he? I think he played.
Oh, he did play Axis. The last game he played Tread. That's right.
I think this is 3 forwards, turn 3, turn 2.
Hey, he's got looks like quite a few Kingslave in the bin. Is he already gonna?
doing it.
Oh wow!
Is this Regis here?
Yeah,
Regis here.
that's a strong,
That's a
strong
good turn
line.
1. And now we get it. Now the best thing is if he has the backup for free. Oh, that's pretty good too.
Wow, and a free Tread. That's great. So that's gonna protect the Regis. It's a combat trick. Yeah, just does everything we want it to do.
So Lightworks, is this angry enough? I was told this wasn't angry enough,
I think right before Plum started his turn, he put on his frown, his angry emoji face,
Yeah,
and said, "Let's go."
that was a weird game too, bro. All right, all right. Well, there's still a chance we could 7 Luso here.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. Turn two. One of the guys who flew out from Kansas at this event was playtesting Mono Wind, and he said he was able to turn two twice back to back in his first 2 times playing Mono Wind. Not realizing how unique that is. Almost made it into playing the deck.
All right. See what Ogi does. As an update, Emmanuel from Arizona came up to me. He was playing Mr. Cool in top 16. Mr. Cool took it.
Yeah, it's a rough matchup for the soiree deck. There's a lot of ways that the Mono Wind player can navigate that matchup. I think I played it 2 or 3 times yesterday.
It's tough.
It's hard.
And I think like one thing that we've kind of seen consistent with the past events, and like this not indicative of this current event, is Sorace is very good at making it out of Swiss. There's a lot of Sorae decks that A2, but then it just can't, it's very hard to convert to and win because the remaining players probably know that Sorae is going to be a tough matchup. We had Sam Prime playing Ice Earth, which kind of crushed it.
Yeah.
Mono Wind here would be a really good deck against Sorace. So if these Mono Wind players can survive, the other angry decks like Bart's Boko, Kingsglaives, then the mid-range Sorae might be doable, pretty doable.
Yeah, I mean the deck has strong value ETBs, but part of the problem is once you play them, it's a bunch of black belts, right?
Yeah.
And good players, we're not scared of black belts, right?
I am.
When it says do 1 point damage.
Do you just hit 3 or 4 backups and hope for Chokomog EX? That's a consideration. The thing is, if we try to play 3 or 4 backups, if we don't leave enough cards in our hand, we won't be able to storm off anyways.
Yeah, I think the difference, right, in that last game where he went to 4 backups is that he went to 4 backups again with that Althea. Now the Stiltskin though is probably the smart pick if he doesn't have the Luso, because knowing he has to guarantee that he's gonna be able to have a turn where he can cast the 7 Luso. If he doesn't have it in his hand, he needs to find it. And so that's probably why he grabs the Stiltskin there. Or he just already had the Althea in hand like a god.
Right. So we're gonna play. I assume we're gonna play the Stiltskin here. Now, obviously, the most insane play for Oki here would probably be like Stiltskin and then play a Chocobo backup, and then we're gods and we hit a EX Chocomob, kill Tread and draw a card.
Yeah. Sometimes it was funny. We were talking about this, right? And it's one of the reasons you really wanted to push for the Alexander in the deck is because sometimes as the win deck, you really just need the extra 1 point in damage to get you there.
Right.
You really need that, and that's what some of those random EX bursts offer. Chocomog, obviously not doing that if you don't have the Chocobo in play as well. But man,
yeah, I was a big fan of the 2 Alexander, 2 Asura split, which a lot of other players. Oh,
there it is,
Alexander, bro.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got what? So he hit 2 Rosa, it looks like, in damage there, or was it?
No, it was Azana.
Azana,
Atomos, Alexander, Rosa. So
Gotcha.
both Atomos and Rosa very good for getting to 7 here. Lulu would be insane here. Lulu Asura.
Yeah.
We also already have the Althea, so we can do 8 theoretically too. That could kill the whole board.
Yeah, I would argue that probably in the deck, Lulu's my favorite card. I just love that card. It enables so much singular spot removal, storm turns, grabbing back your chocobo to protect your board. Like it's such a very strong, almost toolbox card. I love that it just fetches and does so much, setting to 5K.
Yeah. And it doesn't say once per turn.
Yeah.
On the setting to 5K. That's a messed up part.
Thank goodness it is only during your turn, right?
Yeah. I saw Kelly walk out. Yeah. So at least Kelly Thatcher finished this match. We don't know the results of it though.
Yep.
Okay, Rosa, that's a very good start. And I see a Typhon in Oki's hand as well. Yeah, it looks like we're Typhoning the... What are we Typhoning here? The Regis can sacrifice the Kingsglaive, right?
Correct.
So actually, I think all the targets are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Axis sacks himself to get a card back. Tread pumps. Nick's untargetable. Regis sack
Yeah.
a guy.
Oki even does that. It makes a hand gesture. He
Like,
knows none of them
whatever.
feel good.
Yes. He's like, well, this is looking pretty rough for Oki. If we see a knock this year, that would be an insane draw for Plums. He has
Yeah.
4 Kings, presumably 4 Kingsglaives after this Typhon resolves.
Correct. Yeah.
And we have breakables too, so we can attack,
again, continuing just to push Oki.
Looks like we broke access to get a guy back.
Now, looks like Joker Kelly played against
He played against the Neo X.
Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac.
Yeah, he played against Isaac. Isaac was playing Radiant Twins with Neo X Death.
Oh, dang. So we played Luso, drew 1, reactivated with Rosa. Then we had Alexander draw 2. Now that's the second Alexander that I said we should put in the deck. So,
Confirmed, good cards. So getting at we're already at 4. Oki's doing some quick math, making sure he's got the extra 3 counts.
I think even if we don't kill the board here, we're still stabilizing, right?
Yeah.
We have a bunch of blockers at least.
Lulu with cast is gonna grab back. What's that? Suro.
And we got the flip, right? What are we flipping? So
he's gonna cast it
on the stack. Wait, do we flip for Rosa yet?
Well, Rosa, he can stack it however he'd like, right?
So what is? Well, he can't cast his Sura yet.
He's
choosing the Sura.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 5. We're flipping. Oh, Bismarck!
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a spooky. 6, reactivate. Okay, I think Plums might actually just be dead here.
He's gonna be in trouble, that's for sure.
Now we draw 2 because of Bismarck. Wait, I was Althea just played?
No, it looks like he Althea.
Okay. Did he draw from Bismarck?
I don't think he did.
I don't think he drew from Bismarck. Yeah, hold up. We'll call a judge here. Okay, so we're calling a judge here, I think, to get the Chocobo, the draw from Bismarck. I don't think necessarily matters here, but it is big. Do we know if KP won, or are there any updates from the room?
There are, but I don't.
Bismarck is a mandatory trigger. Okay. So they got it. You got it. Thank you, Brian. So looks like we caught in a small error. Though I don't think that would make or break this game by any means.
Well, one thing that he did also miss was, and Alex actually kind of mentioned it to me, is he didn't remember his Lulu trigger. Actually, when he cast the summons,
that would be now that one is optional though.
Yeah, it is
you
optional,
can
so
miss that one.
So that's why there's no rewind for that,
Right.
Which is important. But it would have been important for him to remember that because that at that point he can force him to sack the tread earlier, prior to actually doing the Luso.
And you might not need to cast Luso like again,
Correct, yeah.
Maybe Bismarck King is like
enough.
But we'll see what happens here. Now, if I were Oki, I'm bouncing something at the end of my turn, right? And by the way he's playing, I think he's bouncing Lulu.
Yeah. I think it'd be either Lulu or Typhon.
Right.
If he's able to kill both forwards, I think he might just do the Typhon.
Now, Typhon's not a forward right now, so he doesn't get a ping with it.
But he does still have the Althea in hand, so he can play it and make it a forward.
Right.
Bear in mind, this is all on the stack of Luso dealing 7k.
Yeah. This was all off of EX Alexander, dude. Maybe it was all off of EX Alexander all along,
It's all a snowball effect, the
Yeah.
Alexander and EX allowed this to happen.
Any EX gamers in chat, dude, we're the best.
Sorry, Luso dealing 8k. I think I've said 7k a couple times.
Oki's like, let me reread Luso or Lulu.
Plum's attempting to protect his Knicks.
I think this is gonna end with Plum's probably like 1 or 0 cards in hand. Oki with a full board. Like it's gonna be. Can we even do anything with Knicks? Guess not.
No, he was stacking some to try and protect it, but there was enough boards out with the Bismarck to be able to protect it. I think it's looking pretty grim for Chris now. He doesn't have anything to protect. What I honestly would do is activate a
Forward.
Regis might be protected for the turn. It depends if Regis is protected for the turn. If it isn't, then yeah, I think you just activate it forward and kill it.
Right. And he reactivates Bismarck. We're reactivating the biggest guy.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna bounce that Lulu. Yep.
Don't get a draw because we trigger our. Yes. All right. So don't really know what Plums can do here to not lose, to be honest. What do we have? What are any outs that you see here for Plums?
He plays a really good card from Opus 1. It's an Earth 7-drop backup, but he just doesn't have enough cards probably in hand to cast it, is the issue.
Okay.
Well, there's a Nyx.
So we gotta get rid. So Bismarck's a big problem, right? It generates value every turn.
Yeah.
Now, I think the thing is, Oki's so far ahead that he doesn't care if Bismarck dies.
Yeah.
He repicked up. I think he repicked up the Lulu, which is extra gas.
Yeah.
And he has an Atomos in hand. So Typhon can chump block here. Like literally doesn't matter. He could also greet it and not chump block. Got a 6.
Well, he'd be going
5.
to 5. Yeah. I think you could take the damage. It's fine. You hit, we're just gonna hit the Chocobo, right? We haven't seen the Chocobo summon. Just hit the Chocobo summon on the 5th damage. Be good.
Is Nyx a mandatory trigger on the thing? He has additional text, right? When the Kingsglaive dies. When a Kingsglaive other than Nyx is put into the breakstone, so he sacrificed Nyx, so he does not get the dual trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, NATO trying to bait me into being wrong, bro. No chance.
No, NATO just likes making me run inside.
Yeah. So we're actually commentating from there's a tent set up for because this was a pretty big event yesterday. They had sent out like a tent, like kind of a pavilion outside.
Yeah.
And with the stream tables outside because the players are, we don't want to talk while the players are, playing right there.
Yep. It's really good. Like they put the stream table commentary team far enough from the stream table to where there's not going to be a concern of overhearing. I also like the outside area. Honestly, it's pretty nice. The setup's much better than I originally thought it was going to be. So kudos to the shop making some really good decisions and giving the players plenty of space to feel comfortable, play the game. Even in the current climate conditions, right?
And it's San Diego.
Yeah,
the weather's nice.
It is. It was a little cold by the end of yesterday.
Yeah.
My hands were freezing, but
so back to the game. Oki's playing solitaire again,
Yeah.
Plums can't do anything.
I think Plums, if he's smart, he'll just take a minute, go to the bathroom, get a snack, hang out.
Try to sign up for some side events before they close,
Yeah. Eat dinner,
To finish one whole bracket before he's done with this turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the part of this is even though Plums, is losing here, he made like all the right decisions, right? You have to go fast against Mono Win. You have to hope they don't have the storm. Like it's not impossible for them to have the storm, but putting a big clock, a fast clock on them is really the way you have to win this matchup.
Yeah. And it's like we said, right? I think at the beginning that Nick's Axis was going to be an all-star. Putting those Kingsglaives in the bin, going wide, it's what you got to do in the matchup. There's no way that you're going to beat Mono Win unless you can go wide fast. And that's one of the few ways Kings can do it in the first couple turns.
Right. Like other decks have some other options, like Avalanche is fast and kills backups with Wedge.
Yep.
Ice has Orphan, which is a very annoying card. It demands an answer. Their only spot really like a Bismarck early. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, a Typhon early.
Yeah, or even a Scale Toad early is
Right.
very annoying. It applies a lot of pressure to the win player, right?
If they don't draw 5 backups, then
Yeah.
or like Toad can get a card or two. So yeah,
Going ahead, putting him to 5.
unfortunately for Plummer, Oki was very talented and had a perfect turn.
So he's gonna go ahead.
Wonder if he'll come out here later and be like, I top deck that, whatever, top deck the X.
Well, I think what we can do after this game is maybe get our Ports Boko star in, right? For a quick interview.
We'll see. He might be concentrating on the preparing for the next
one.
match.
Yeah, that's true.
They are like this was a 70-minute round for best of 3. And I don't know how long we've taken, but feels like we did 2 matches already.
Correct. But
presumably Plummer's last turn.
yeah, I mean, he's got Oki at 4 damage. It's rare to see the mono win gamer, but having the Kingsglaive gamer on more damage.
Right.
But it's at the point in the game where Matt, it'd be very hard for him to throw this.
And Noctis chooses 1 forward to be doled. The 5 CP Noctis, which makes Atomos like, I mean, an extra guarantee that he can't let die because it's not only a forward when you want it to be a forward.
Correct. I mean, the cool thing about Kingsglaive, right, is there's a lot of really interesting response times. So, like, Matt could activate it. You could use something like Sack the Axle, Sack the Tread.
Right.
That's the really unique thing about the deck. The problem with the Noctis at this point in the game is that Noctis costs 5 because there's no category characters on the board. So it's a sweet EX burst to hit, but we just don't have the developed board to make use of it.
Yeah. Little did we know, Oki plays Neo X in his deck.
And there's a Nyx. Okay.
This
With
gets
a
us
couple
a
Kingsglaive in the
Maybe
bin,
we can
actually.
get RNA here. Can we get RNA here? Oh, we just pass. Okay. We're also on damage 5, so we don't have the RNA haste.
Yeah, and I want to see.
All right, so how many Yashtolas and Fina does Oki play? Oki is playing 1 of the Opus 5 Yashtola and 3 Finas.
Yeah, and I mean it's a Nyx with a tread. I'm not sure that's doing a whole lot here. Yeah. So again, Oki just gonna kind of pop off a little bit. It's gonna be very difficult for Plums to kind of navigate through this. He's got 1 card in hand. There's really not a ton of responses he can do. He's got, I think, it does look like he may have 5 in the bin though. As far as cards that like you said, he grabs. I mean, what are you thinking here that could save him? You mentioned the RNA. What would be actually sweet is maybe a Ravis at the end of Matt's turn, or at the start of your turn.
If we have a forward left.
Ravis actually would have to be at the end of Matt's turn so that he could dole 2 and then have a third forward to attack, putting Matt on 7.
Wait, so do we think Oki can get Bismarck off the top of twice in 1 game? We're at cast 3, right?
Brother, Matt's got just about as many EX burst moments on stream as he does highlight Rosa reveals, I'm sure. So if anyone's gonna do it, I'm sure it's our mono gamer resident Matthew Okimoto.
So we got Chocobo here to bounce Lulu, Luso, whatever he wants. Atomos attack, activate 5 backups, no matter what happens. We have a lot of stuff in the bank.
Yeah.
It's like we're just attacking.
Treads when you stack pump. Yep. Free block.
Okay. Well, he does get Nyx does get first strike, right?
Yeah. So now Matt's debating. Normally this is where you kind of want to send the Tamos, but that Nyx is scary.
All right. Well, if we're talented here, we draw Chocomon too, potentially.
Very true. And it looks like, yeah, that's exactly. Oh no, it's a chocobo.
Yeah, Chocobo into Chocobo. Shrink.
On the Lulu's gonna shrink the Nyx, but Nyx is probably gonna sack something to protect it, I'd imagine.
I wonder if Oki thought like I wonder if he just forgot that Nyx had first strike or something. He's like, yeah, whatever, attack. And then he's like, I can't actually get through. Probably didn't because he's a good player, but we'll see what happens here, right? Shogomog would be decent, although he does have a lot of Kingswave that maybe he could still save next.
Yeah, I mean, there's also all kinds of other things he can do. Like he can play cards from his deck, like another Tread. Tread will pump on entry, pumps on leaving.
So I think Plummer is considering like, do I could remove one glaive to pump my guy to make him not 5k? Because he's targeting Lulu shrink to the Nyx.
I think it depends on how many Kingswave are in his bin, correct? So you know,
I legit wasn't sure if we thought the stream was frozen or like, what the heck is going on. Nothing was moving.
Well, it's at a point in the game where this is a critical decision point, right? For Plums, he has to decide right now because the card that Matt draws could be the card that kills the Nyx.
Yeah, but there was no fidgeting, no sign of movement from either player. You know, a classic TCG thing. You know, pick up your card, shuffle them. You know what they are.
Yeah.
Your opponent knows what they are, but you're still gonna shuffle them for no reason. Okay.
So, I mean, if you're in Plums's shoes, are you just gonna sack one prevent? Like, what number of Kingslaves do you need to have in the bin to be able to do that?
You need 5 to do the action, I think.
Yeah, but is he? I mean, if you have 6, I mean, obviously you do it, right? But if you have 5, do you still make that same decision to sack one?
I am not a Kingswave. I cannot tell you like what the right, especially I'm just thinking I'm doomed. I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to keep going. I'm like Plums here, you know, fighting for his tournament life.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he let the 5K shrink resolve, otherwise Matt wouldn't be continuing with the attacks here, right?
So this is a 7k Ash coming in.
Yeah.
So it looks like we did save removal.
I mean, but Plums can just remove Kingslaves from his break zone, right?
Yeah, and it has first strike too. Okay, so we're playing a Kingswave here.
Buying one from the deck.
What can
So
it
he did
be?
have 6 in the bin.
Okay. What is it?
You do Ignis, which would give it plus 1k, right? So inherently makes it just even bigger. It could be.
I think if we wanted to do RNA, we would not block here. Go to damage 6.
Correct.
Because RNA also gives your force haste.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like we played RNA. Oh, we chose RNA. So RNA revives Tread. So maybe we should have waited till damage 6 before we. Did we declare? We don't know if we declared block yet, right?
Yeah, he may be allowing the Ash damage to go through now that Oki has attacked. Right. The other thing is that the Tread may allow for the combat trick that will kill the Ash.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm not sure. You know, similarly to you, I think I've never played Kingsglaives in my life. Although I have played it several times against Chris. So not doing what any good card gamer would do, read the card, making sure it is damage 6 haste.
6. Kusid. And we have nothing, right? Oh no, we have the non-king plays.
Yeah, like I said, Chris is really good. He usually tries to make things nice and clear for his opponent, puts 2 stacks on the board. But he gets back Regis.
So Plummer is doing like the equivalent of like a chess puzzle right now, right? He's like, how do you checkmate the king? How do I win?
So Arnea is pretty big here, right? She's 9k.
9k for strike.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus 1k per every other.
She could be even bigger, right? Depending on if Tread pumped her.
True.
It could be.
And there's been a lot of gesturing from Oki trying to clarify the power level. He's probably asking like, what is the power level of each board you have? Which we don't know.
we're really testing the mono win gamer. You know what I mean? Like normally all we have to do is count to 7, but here there's a lot more math involved with all this power fluctuation on the Kingsglaive side of the table.
Okay.
So
Lulu.
gonna go. So
Main 2.
yeah, main 2.
5. No, 4. Wait, that is 5, right? Okay. So we discarded a Lulu. We're gonna choose our target here. We should presumably do a Rosa flip here.
There we go.
Stir up. Flip a Lulu. Not bad.
But he did get that Chocomog. So
And what this says is if we cast our Chocomog, we're drawing that Lulu because we have both the Chocobo and the Moogle.
yep, that's correct.
Like we can't go attack anymore. Okay, he's counting because Chocomog does what 1k per character, right?
Correct. It's 1k per character, and he will also get the Lulu shrink. So he could have the opportunity just to, nuke that RNA right now. I'm assuming Nyx is untargetable, unless Plum said chose not to do that.
Well, Nyx is targetable by the Chocomog.
Oh, summons, yeah. Oh, so he's gonna go for the RNA.
The RNA is the bigger threat here.
Yeah, giving his whole board haste is spooky, right?
Right. So here, Rosa cannot be targeted by abilities. Luso. Oh, he's debating on whether he wants to go with Althea.
Yeah. And then Luso the board.
So that'll deal another 8k. I don't know if Nyx dies here, but
I think it would, right? Because he did shrink it earlier successfully with the Lulu.
right. So that'll deal 8k to the board.
It's going to pump it,
and then RFG another.
Okay.
Ash trigger. Did he draw? I think he did.
He drew, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think he went to no cards in hand, drew off the Luso, drew off.
Yeah, good. This is like the movie, right? Is Nyx like the one guy left?
Yeah. Nyx is like Rambo, just won't go down.
Nyx is the one of the best cards, right? That
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is. Nyx and Regis, right? But I think similarly to Rambo, Nyx will have some PTSD after this matchup. It's a rough. I mean, Plum's is having a hard time. One thing I do respect about Plum though is that until he is at that 7-point damage, he's not gonna pick it up, right? He just knows, give your opponent the opportunity to misplay, make them actually do the work and kill you.
And this is a tournament.
Yeah,
you're top 16.
Yep.
You're not scooping. There's no more after this.
You're in the spot.
If your opponent messes up, they mess up.
There we go. Okay, so the Typhon on the Noctis.
Okay.
I think there might be still a couple Kingslaves somehow in the break zone for Nyx to protect himself, but he's at 6 damage. Funny enough, Oki could probably party attack with 3 forwards here.
We could definitely.
Yeah, there you go.
We could have also Althea the Lulu back, got the Chocomog,
and done that.
That's almost a guaranteed kill. But this is really fun. How often can you triple party attack?
Oh, you're attacking with 4 forwards. What a gamer. Because he still got that Atamos, brother. And Plums only has 1 card in hand.
That's at least 3 Kingsglaive in the bin, right?
Yeah.
It's a 10k.
Yeah. But if my math is correct here, we've got a Rosa at 7, a Lulu at 5, a Luso at 3, and what's the last card? An Ash at 7.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Oh, and the Rambo down.
Yeah. And Atamos getting there.
Fist bump. Also, I've been informed that's called a spud in the UK.
A spud, yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Is it because only potatoes do that?
You said it, not me.
So, but overall, another, a really great match from 2, I'm sure, really, really good friends.
Went to game 3 too,
Yep. I'm sure, this is Chris's first time making day 2 at a larger event. I'm sure he's really proud of his performance. I know I'm proud of him. He didn't get a chance to play back when he had Crystal Cup, so this is the first opportunity to really have a chance to shine.
Great to see newer players like do well. Yeah. Sadler, can you get us some results? Maybe. Can you get us some results? Maybe.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
It's all done.
Oh,
All right, so we got Statler with the inside information here.
So you saw Okimoto.
Yep.
Kelly Thatcher won against the Isaac playing Palamporn or Rydia.
Xavier and Alejandro.
I think Alejandro.
You can skip that one.
Andrew, we saw.
Andrew won on stream.
Alex won 2.
Alex Hancock's won against Emmanuel.
Azul won.
Azul beat David Valles.
Chris Neal beat Pat 2.
Christopher Neal beat Patrick Panasoni.
Sharina won.
And Sharina won against Alex.
Okay, so let's run it down. So we've got in top 8, Matthew Okimoto, Kelly Thatcher, we believe Alejandro Ramirez.
Could be wrong.
That's
Xavier.
got there.
Xavier. Okay,
So Xavier got there. Xavier will be in top 8. Congrats to Xavier. We've got Andrew Ketchum. We've got Alex Hancock from across the sea. We've got Azul, who I think Azul is playing a very interesting deck. Azul is playing a Wind Lightning deck featuring a lot of ninjas.
Oh,
So
we should
pretty
play that
interesting.
next
Yeah.
match.
Chris Neal took it over Pat in the Sophie deck. Chris piloting the Avalanche deck, and Sharina taking it over Alec piloting Kingslayer.
So there's one Glaives left.
Yeah. Knicks just won't go down.
Knicks won't go down.
So, okay. Do we want to maybe bring in any of the players? I know Matt was.
I think they're basically done.
All right, everyone. As we get ready for top 8, some of the players are taking a quick break, but we were fortunate enough to be joined by Andrew, who we saw at the beginning of top 16, taking it down all the way from Vegas, piloting the Bart's Boko deck. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that matchup.
Well, so funny story. The guy I was playing against, his name is also Andrew, and he's also from Vegas. And we very much knew each other's decks, so we were like, well, we know what to expect. And I was a little nervous because I know his deck definitely has counterplay to mine. That's something that I think part of the reason I chose this deck, besides the fact that I like it and I like parts and I just wanted to run it, is that I do think it's something that can catch a lot of people off guard, and not every deck may necessarily be able to answer it as fast as they need to. But I know his deck does have the possibility to do that, so I was really nervous about that, which is kind of why I ended up losing game 1, because I was trying to play around his counterplay, which I think actually ended up costing me. But also I wasn't able to Bart Spoke or turn 1 anyways because of my hands, and I think it was too greedy to mulligan. So I was a little nervous about that, but after that I was like, well, I just need to play out the way I want to and hope he can't answer it every time, and I ended up working out.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I mean, that was one of the things I think Ryan or Viridian had said going into game 2. He said, hey, we saw what happened in game 1. You obviously, as the player, knowing your deck, knowing the matchup, made the right decision, saying, hey, I just got to force it. I got to force him to have that Ixion. He searched it immediately.
Yeah,
on game 2.
and that's why I was so nervous about it that first game, because I couldn't Bart Spoke or turn 1. But I did Aria to find Bart, so I was ready to do it. And then he searches Ixion. I'm like, I don't think I play into it, but I probably just should have. That's why the other games, I'm like, I'll just go for it. I even made arguably a greedy play was it game 3 where I also dropped the Noctis down? Yes, that's when I went second. I can only do that if I go second. I was like, well, I got Noctis, Bart, Spoken in hand of going second. I can drop all of them turn 1. But if he has Ixion, then I also lose Noctis. And I was like, I was debating not playing Noctis just to save that for a future turn in case he did it. I got greedy and played it, but it ended up working out anyway. But that was the one thing that I probably should have made that greedy play in the other ones, even though that's a thing my deck wants to do. And that's why I chose to draw a card trigger off him anyways, just in case. Because I know, again, playing against him, I know that he doesn't want to Ixion me until I try and throw the Zizat down. Because then Ixion has less than 3 cards, doesn't have to discard, and kills Zizat, which is a big beater as well. So anyway, but we knew each other's decks and we knew the counterplay, and I just had to force it. So
and it makes sense. I mean, you got to take that risk, right? From Vegas, so got to roll the dice. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. But congrats obviously on that win. Now we're going into the next round. Do you know your opponent for the next round?
I've met them before. I think I know that they're playing. I think they're playing Mono Wind, if I was paid attention correctly.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I don't want to say this and curse myself, but I'm not super worried about that kind of matchup. That's the kind of deck that is another reason why I brought Bart's, because it comes out so fast that if you can't answer it right away, it just runs you over. And I think decks like Mono Win, and there's a few other decks in the meta that are like that want to take a little bit of time to set up. They can't take that time to set up against. And so I either force them to play inefficiently or they lose. And I think that's something like that. I mean, definitely Mono Win can definitely like stop me. They have answers to like slow me down and stop me. But then I'm forcing them to play efficiently, and then they may not be able to get what they want to do as quickly as they want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think I have a favorable matchup against it. Knock on wood. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's right. Like, forcing them to play your agenda as opposed to theirs, that's a pretty good call, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's it's a good meta call for that reason.
Mhm.
And so, anyways, there were a lot of questions on stream. There's actually, I think, only a handful of people cosplaying this weekend.
Yeah.
I think there was at least 3, you being one of them,
Yeah.
right? So, can you tell the people at home who maybe don't have that same visual, what are we doing this weekend?
I am cosplaying Bart's.
Yeah, surprise, right?
Surprise, surprise. I am playing Bart's Boko with my Bart's Boko sleeves, cosplaying Bart's. I'm just missing a Bart's mat. I don't think Square has any official Bart's or FF5 mats. If they did, I doesn't pay attention. And if they didn't, maybe I need to make one myself.
Okay, what we're doing, I'm sure right now, is hinting to all the Square Enix employees at home.
Bart's, please.
Yeah. The next playmat, I'm sure in the future there'll be a Wind Crystal Cup, and that's like an ideal place to slot it
Yeah.
in, right?
I mean, they already gave Vaughn here, so don't give Vaughn on the Wind Crystal Cup. Do Bart's instead. He's always Wind Element.
Yeah,
Till they printed the like. Final.
very true. Another thing that was asked, right, is so I obviously understand the Barts, the Boko.
Yeah,
Let's hear a little bit about this yellow feather.
it's supposed to be a chocobo feather. It's I mean, it's just supposed to be a chocobo feather. That's the idea. So I kind of I didn't play I played Dissidia before I played FF5, and that's where I got to know like who Bart's was.
Okay.
And I just loved the character, and I know in like at least in NT some of his opening and ending animations he has like feathers that he throws. Yeah, so I just like, get some feathers, and it's a part of my cosplay. So I have some yellow feathers and I say they're chocobo feathers. So
That's funny. It's funny. I like it. Well, obviously, good luck to you. Any shout outs that you want to give to any of the boys at home?
Yeah, we got our locals at Vegas is kind of small, but me and the guy we're playing against, Andrew, are trying to build it back up. We're trying to make Vegas have a scene again, so that hopefully we can host events in the future, because I think Vegas is obviously a great location for it. We just need to have enough of a local scene that we can feasibly host one. And so, yeah, to anyone from Vegas watching, if you play with us, keep coming. We love it, and if you don't, come join us.
Yeah. I mean, in it, maybe even, is there a shop that you guys play at? I think.
Yeah, so there used to be another shop that we went to, but they kind of stopped supporting the game. So we've been trying to get it going at Power 9, which is in the north side of Vegas.
Okay.
And we've been talking to the shop owner, and they're going to start getting product. They're going to start getting promos too, finally. And so we're getting it rolling.
Awesome. It's good to hear that. I've been hearing that a lot this weekend, that players are really trying to really build their scene. So it's good to hear that Vegas is going to make the comeback, right?
Yep.
Yeah, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm sure especially with you guys coming up today representing the city well, right? So anyways, I think we'll wrap it up here. Good luck to you in your next match.
Of course, thank you. Appreciate it.
Maybe we'll see you further in the Top Cut.
I hope so.